Adam, we're speaking after a defeat. That's only happened once so far this season. It's not all doom and gloom, is it?
No, it's not. We're obviously disappointed with how we played, in particular, second half. But just not making any mistakes. We come up against a very good side, and I think if you finish above Forest Green this season, then you'll probably end up being champion. So, not too bad, but we're still a bit disappointed of our performance second half.
You talked about you were disappointed in yourself with the substitution. Were you really meaning not having Adam Crooks on the bench and your choice of substitutions before the match, or were you talking about the changes you made during the game?
A bit of both really. I don't think it sort of had the impact on the game that we probably wanted. I sort of analysed the game, and there's been a couple of times now where we've played really well first half. Maybe tactics for the opposition has changed at half time, and then myself has taken too long to come up with the answers really. Like I say, that's stuff I will get better at when the game plan changes for the opposition. Got to be quicker to get a better game plan onto the players, and like I say, I want the players to be honest and analyse their game, and I'm no different. One
thing you have been criticised on social media, I think it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek. The cap had disappeared and the grey beanie came. Is that now gone? Is that not going to see that again?
That was more the kit man's fault. To be honest, he forgot.
The blame out.
He forgot my hat. I've asked him just for kick-off, where's the red hat, and he said, I haven't got it. So it's Lewis Salim's fault for the defeat, unfortunately.
One of those mistakes you only make once.
That's it, yeah. To be honest, I always used to take it myself, and then it's probably my fault for getting a couple of Manager of the Month awards and getting a bit big time and letting the kit man take responsibility for it, to be honest. So, I think I'll be taking it and packing it away myself, but I see it's on my office now, ready to go for the home game on Saturday.
Well, you've got another nice warm hat on here.
Yeah, I need it today.
Yeah, you do need it. How are the conditions out there?
A bit tough today. It was perfect. They were falling out nicely, and then the sun went in, and it sort of killed us a little bit. So we had to be very mindful of that, and a bit restrictive on what we could do today. But we've got contingencies in plan for Friday, and be no excuses. We've still get a good load into the players, and we train properly and prepare properly Friday.
Yeah, I imagine it's going to be the same up and down the country, so it's not just York City being affected. But how does it affect you when it gets to this stage of the season and you never really know what conditions you're going to be facing?
No, that's right. It just we obviously see the weather warning come in, so we got the lads in a little bit later on Tuesday. So that sort of seemed to work well. And then today, like I say, we was all set and everyone was happy with how it was all thawing out, and then the sun went in and it sort of got a lot colder and it didn't sort of thaw out as well as what we hoped. So just having that contingency in place. Obviously at the training ground we don't have a 3G surface, so we're relying on Tony McMahon speaking to the university and seeing if we can get along there to train. We'll have contingency in place from now on, and it might be a case where if we train in the afternoons potentially when the weather gets a little bit colder.
Start again of a 3-game week, a big week, 9 points up for grabs. And look at all three fixtures are clearly tough, but these first two against teams that are battling out to try and get in the playoffs, is it a good game to try and bounce back in after the weekend?
I think you just want that next game to come after a defeat, and we're obviously disappointed with large chunks of our game second half in particular, and we just try and put that right. But it's a very, very tough week. Tamworth aways, no mugs at the end of the week either, so in a couple of weeks to come as well. So obviously. Before that, we've got a very tough game at home to Yeovil, and then we've got Walchcombe in the week as well, which we know only too well how tough that game is. So tough couple of games. But like I say, I think we've got a group of players that are determined to try and put the performance of Saturday right.
Yeovil are clearly going very well after getting their promotion last season. Probably a little bit better than lots of people expected. What do you think of them?
Obviously come up against them last year in National South, and they had a team that had a lot of experience, a lot of know-how, and obviously got a manager of the same ilk as well. So yeah, I'm not really surprised of where they are, and I'm sure they'll be keen to put a good campaign together and get as close to the playoffs as they can. I think that'd be their aim this season, and they're on course to do that. And yeah, it's important for us to try and put that gap between ourselves and the others that are chasing the playoffs, because you know how tough these games are.
I think there's only yourselves and Forest Green have got a better defensive record than they have, so clearly they're very strong at the back. And then when you look at the players they've got going forward, Frank Newbley, Jarvis up front, they do provide a threat as well at the other end of the pitch.
No, they do. Like I say, a lot of the teams at this level is similar. It's very similar sort of standard, really, and yeah, we've got to perform certainly better than what we did second half, as we definitely come unstuck. So that's our challenge. We're focused on ourselves like we always do, and what we can improve on. I think the analysis that we've shown the lads has been good, but yeah, we respect every opposition that we come up against in this league. We don't get ahead of ourselves thinking that there's any easy game, because there's most certainly not.
Let's look at your team then. Have you had any update yet on Cam John?
Not just yet. I think his scan's booked for tomorrow. But yeah, still very sore and stiff in this hamstring area. So, you know, the early prognosis from the physios is like 6 weeks or so. So 6 to 8 weeks. So yeah, a real blow for us. Gives us a lot of energy on that left side. He's forming a good relationship with Ty and Ash and Dippo, whoever plays on the left hand side. So a big blow. But yeah. I'm sure he'll work tirelessly hard to make sure he's back.
How's everyone else that's been involved recently?
All good. The only one that's only slight concern was Callum Howe. Got a bit of a kick on his calf, so we was just ruling out that it's not a tear or nothing, but he was back doing some running with Lenny today. So yeah, we're hoping that other than Cam John, everyone else will be fully fit.
Well, you've mentioned Lenny. How is he and the other guys that have been out for a while?
Yeah, good. Len's in a good place. He's back running on the grass, getting his boots on, so that's really big for him. Dara had a bit of a setback, but nothing too strenuous. We don't think. We think, you know, he's again had his boots on and done a bit of running, just got a bit of aggravation, so it shouldn't be too bad. George likes to come wherever he is. Not progressed as well, so it might be a case of ultrasound scan and potential injection for him, just to help his recovery on a little bit, which is disappointing for him. And then we've got Xander, Alex Hernandez, who are back running and should be able to get training into them very soon.
You've announced the extension of the loan of Luca Thomas this week. What is it that he's brought to your team or to your squad that you've liked so far?
He's been a bit unlucky, really. I think the games that he's played, Halifax, he probably played in a wide position, which probably doesn't show off his strengths, and then he played up front against a League One opposition in Wickham. So 2 tough games. But you know, I really like his attitude. I think he's a great lad, firstly. Secondly, I think he's one hell of a finisher, and we probably haven't seen the best of that yet. And you know, I'm hoping that he'll get a bit more run of games. But it's been tough as well that he's come in just as Ollie Pearce has hit a bit of form as well. So yeah, but you know, wonderful lad, and we're delighted he's extended, and I'm hoping we can see a bit more of the finishing skills that he shows in training and his movement. He works hard for the team, and he's trained really well this week, so really pushing for a starting place, and you know, he's exceptional talent, and we're delighted that he's decided to stay.
Levy's gone down to Truro as well in the last week. Can how those I imagine that sort of move has come on because the manager down at Truro used to be up here. But how easy is it? Do you need to convince a player to go that far away? Is that alone at Darlington, which is virtually on his doorstep, to go all the way to Truro? That's a long way.
Yeah, I think it's ultimately down to the player. I mean, is going to be limited with his game time with us, and it's important for these lads that they go and play. Like Thierry's gone out and getting game time and doing well, and Levy be the same. He needs to go and play and get game time. So it's ultimately down to the player, but he's seen it as a good opportunity. Wanted to get regular game time, and they sort of promised him that. And I'm sure that it'll do him the world of good. Same as Thierry, it's done him really good to go out and play. So it's more down to the player. Mecca works hard speaking to these clubs and try and sort them out, loan moves, and then it's ultimately down to the player to decide.
Are we likely to see any more incomings or outgoings before, say, Christmas?
Don't know, we're not. Obviously, we're actively always looking. Is at a game here just to cast our eye and see who's available. But relatively happy with the squad. But if someone becomes available, then we'd be stupid not to look at it. So at this stage, I'd say no. But at the same time, we'll never disregard anyone if they become available.
FA Trophy draw's been made as well since we last spoke to you, Darlington at home. Are you pleased that in a tournament that in the early stages can be a little bit underwhelming for some supporters, that City have got a decent game with, I think it's 8 former York City members of staff that will be coming back here, so that will keep the crowd interested in that game in a couple of weeks? Yeah,
you certainly hope so. I think it's a great tie. One that they'll probably feel they can win and want to have a good go, and we're at home, and we'll feel that we can give a good account of ourselves as well. So it's got all the makings of a top tie, and I think it's one that the supporters look forward to as well. It's been probably a while since the two teams have locked horns. We've been in different leagues and stuff, so it'd be a good challenge. They was really good, really impressed with them when we went up there in pre-season, and I'm sure they'll be looking for a result to get their league campaign back on track as well. So got so much respect for the guys there, and I'm sure they get a warm welcome for the job they've all done here as well. So it's a tough game, but one when it comes around we'll look forward to.
And finally, with these back-to-back games, with the way the fixtures have fallen for the other clubs at the top, for Forest Green, for Barnet, if you were to take 6 points out of 6, you know that you're guaranteed to go back top of the National League. So suddenly, after dropping in 3 points, you could still be right back up there again in less than a week's time.
Yeah,
it's a big if.
It's a big if, yeah, definitely. There's no guarantees. We definitely won't look any further ahead than Yeovil this Saturday. Real big game for us, and one we'll look forward to, and hope for another big crowd here. And we want to, after our good showing here last time in terms of scoring a lot of goals, we'll be wanting to put on a good show again.
Brilliant, thank you.
Hi, Adam.
Hiya.
So after a defeat, which obviously is a rare thing, there's some valuable lessons I guess you're going to take away. Not least, and you mentioned it after the game, sticking to the plan, and when you're under the cosh, not reverting to the long ball.
Yeah, I think that's so important. It's quite reassuring actually. I was in the gym the other day speaking to a fan, and he said, was the tactic to go long second half, and I said it most certainly wasn't. So it's quite reassuring that the supporters get it as well, and get how we play and the success that we get from playing out from the back. I think when we do play out from the back, we've got to play with better structure than what we did on Saturday. Second half in particular, I don't think there was the options available for Harrison, particularly for the first goal. It was an offside, it was a free kick, and we put ourselves under pressure by people not getting in the right positions. And it's so important, I think, when a team comes really aggressive and presses aggressive, it's so important that you have 11 players all wanting the ball if we're going to play our way. And we probably didn't get that, and that's the lessons that we'll learn. And like I say, I've said all along, we don't feel we're the finished article. We're improving, and we're looking to improve game on game. And the game changed. Second half, they put us under a bit more pressure, and we've got to learn to deal with that. When teams do come aggressive, it should play into our hands. I still feel we had 7 versus 5 to play out, so we should be playing out a bit more comfortably than what we was, and that's stuff that we show the players and learn from.
And you've been tough on yourself as well. You've admitted you've made mistakes, but within the other things, mentioning the fans, you've built up almost a reservoir of goodwill. They realise that'll happen, and they haven't overreacted either.
No, like I say, it's really reassuring the response from the supporters and them actually seeing that if we do resort to going long, we probably haven't got the personnel to play that way. So we've got to stick to how we want to play. Ultimately, we try to control and play out from the back to have comfortable possession, and we try to control games, and I thought we did that for large spells first half. Steve, rightly so, got into his players at half time and had a good response, and they come and pressed us a little bit harder, but nothing should change from us. But the structure that we played with was not one that we're used to seeing. So yeah, obviously really disappointed for the supporters, because my family travelled and were on the terrace and said it wasn't the best place to be with all that rain coming down, so I really felt for them, and for us to not give them something to cheer about made it even more of a disappointing journey home.
To put it all into context though, Steve Cottrell also said we didn't get any more points than 3 for beating top of the table. It's 3 points, it's gone, move on.
Yes, like all games, we don't dwell on them too long. Even when we win and we play really well, we still look at the good stuff and look at where we can improve, and nothing's changed on our side of that. So I think if anything, we'll do a lot more learning from the last game, and hopefully we do learn and try and put it right this Saturday, and that's all we can do.
Yeah, talking of Saturday, Yeovil, they lost their last game, so they're coming off that. They've expressed a keen desire, obviously, to get back on the horse and to win. And both teams have 13 points from 6 games, so it's quite an evenly matched contest, isn't it? Yeah,
it is, yeah. A tough game. I think, like I say, we don't go into any game any different thinking that we're going to dominate or anything like that, and they'll be keen to come here and try and win the game, and I think that's what you do get. You get teams coming here believing they can win, and we've got to try to improve on our performance and put that right, but we know that every opposition that you come up against in the National League is going to be not gifted to you, and you've got to firstly and foremost go and earn the right to play how we play, match the intensity, and I don't think we've done that second half, so that's the key thing that we're looking for.
And with 2 games in such a close succession, you're away at Altrincham obviously in the week, do you pick a side for Saturday and then for Tuesday, or have you got both in mind?
Yeah, I think you focus on Saturday. You've got to focus on the next game and not look too far ahead, but we do have players at the moment that are struggling with knocks and stuff like that, so probably can't go Saturday, Tuesday. So you've got to take that into account as well. So there'll be players that start on Saturday, and you know full well you're going to have to make some changes come Tuesday. But we'll get through and focus fully on Yeovil Saturday, and then when that's done, then our attentions will then quickly turn to Altrincham on Tuesday. And
with some players carrying knocks, I guess with the weather as it is as well, do you adapt for some people what with the hard ground?
Yeah, we do. Also, we looked at the amount of sprints that Joe Felix got through on Saturday. It was probably 3 times as many as any other player, so we adapt his training schedule through the week. He'll drop out a bit of the training. Obviously, Malachi didn't train too much as well last week, so then we don't want to put him straight back into a 4 weeks of training, so we adapt his training, and we've got really good people, Ollie Parker and Sam Mannings, that look at that side of it and are really on it, and we taper the training load on the distance they cover in a game, and look at the conditions as well.
And welcome news with Luca Thomas. Is he going to be an impact off the bench?
Obviously he won't want to be that player, and I think at the moment he probably is, but moving forward he's been excellent in training. Some of his finishing is up there, one of the best finishers that we got, so it's a matter of time before he gets a run, and I don't want him to come in thinking that he's here till the start of January just as an impact sub, because he's most definitely not. And like I say, we're going to need all players available, and I imagine in this next week, in this next batch of 3 games, he'll get a start in some of them, yeah.
And finally, big crowd at home, another good Saturday.
Yeah, I hope so. Got some family coming up as well, which is always nice. And yeah, you want to showcase your team, and you know, I'm sure that the fans will be out in full force, and yeah, looking for another big performance. So yeah, we look forward to it, and try and be better than what we was last game.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hiya. So, quick 2 questions from me.
Yep.
First of all, with the last game against Forest Green, what are your thoughts on that? And it's a disappointing result, but how did you think it went?
Yeah, obviously disappointed with the result. We're disappointed with our performance second half more than anything. For first half, we've done well, but they probably let us have a lot of the ball, and then when they come and pressed us, we didn't adjust our game plan, and was a bit loose in our actions. So as good as Forest Green are, they're a very good side, and like I say, I've got huge respect for Forest Green, but at the same time we look at ourselves and feel we've let ourselves down as well.
And how are you looking ahead to this weekend against Yeovil Town?
Yeah, obviously we haven't experienced defeat too many times this season, but when you do, you want a response from the players, and everyone, coaching staff and everything, we're all on board to try and be better than what we was, and looking for a response, and yeah, hopefully putting a good performance, because the performances for large parts have been there, and the results have followed, and we know that if we perform anywhere near to what we can, that's got all the makings to lead to results for us.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Adam,
Hiya.
first away defeat of the season last Saturday, but in no way a poor performance. Has it been a difficult week in terms of maintaining or raising morale?
I don't think so. You know, obviously we're disappointed every time we lose, and you know, to say that we didn't all travel home from Forest Green disappointed would be an understatement. Yeah, there's been a little lift that you needed, but in the main we've shown the players where we feel we can improve, and they've bought into that and took it on board, and training's been good, and yeah, we're looking for a bit of response. We want to be annoyed that we're no longer at the top of the table and someone's took that off us, and you know, we want to use that as a bit of motivation for us.
Luca Thomas, we've talked about him, but you'll now stay with York City until the beginning of January. Is that an indication you know you'll have other striking options available in the new year?
No, just a case of that was what was put to us really, and it just, obviously Lenny will be back by then, we hope, but you know, we really like Luca as a player, and he's finishing, like I say, in training. He's worked hard, he's a great lad, willing to learn, and seen a bit of you know, determination in the lad, that he doesn't just want to be an impact player, he wants to start, and you know, there's only one way to do that, and that's train hard, and he's done that. So yeah, really happy that he's extended till January, and like I say, if he does anywhere near as well as what I feel he can, then you know, there's potential that we could look to extend that even further.
I was going to say, is there a potential to extend it further, or is it Leeds United who are wanting him back?
No, yeah, we sort of haven't really looked into extending it any further, but yeah, I think to see how he does. Obviously, he's been a bit sort of in and out, and probably hasn't had as many minutes as what he likes, but I think his impact from the bench was really good. Because of how well he done, he then got a couple of starts in difficult games, in probably not the position he wants to play in one of them in particular, and then it's a case of waiting for that opportunity again. But he's showing all the signs, like I say, real determination. He wants to start games for us, and you know, we've got a real talented player, and like I say, if he comes and does well, then I'm sure both parties will be happy to extend it.
Have you a target date for Lenny coming back at all at the moment? You mentioned he's back in training.
Yeah, no, he's not back in training, he's just back running. So he's getting his boots on, not running. He's not training with the group yet, and I still think that's a bit of a way off. You've got to take everything, how Lenny's feeling at the moment. He'd be back training next week and playing the following week, I think. The physios are saying with his injury, it's a 12-week recovery from that. So yeah, it's getting that balance right. Obviously Lenny's keen to push it and the physios are sort of trying to hold him back a little bit, but we're all keen to have Lenny back training with the group. You know, one, he gives us a different kind of option that I feel we was lacking, particularly against Forest Green. A bit more of a presence up top that we can play into when the team presses us. And two, just a generally good human being that you want around the place, and you know, any club would miss that.
Have you been happy with how Jeff King has settled in this week, bearing in mind it's only his first full week with the squad? Yeah,
first full week. You know, he did okay at times on the ball. Defensively, I thought could have done a little bit better. So yeah, he's gonna take time to bed in, but I think when he does and he gets settled, you know, we've got a really talented player for the level.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.